Here's a list of the 10 most expensive swords ever sold or valued. These are legendary blades tied to history, royalty, or craftsmanship. 1. The 18th century Boateng saber. $7.7 million. Imagine holding a piece of history worth more than most people's lifetime earnings. That's exactly what we're talking about with the legendary 18th century Boateng saber, which sold for an astounding $7.7 million at Sotheby's auction house. This isn't just any ordinary sword. This imperial saber once belonged to the Qianlong Emperor, one of China's most powerful rulers. During his reign, which lasted from 1735 to 1796, only the finest craftsmen were allowed to create weapons for the imperial court. What makes this saber truly exceptional is its breathtaking craftsmanship. The handle is carved from the finest jade, a stone that Chinese nobility considered more precious than gold. Speaking of gold, the blade features intricate gold inlay work that tells stories of imperial power and artistic mastery. But here's what's fascinating. In Chinese culture, weapons like these weren't just tools of war. They were symbols of authority, artistic excellence, and divine right to rule. Each detail, from the curve of the blade to the patterns in the jade, was carefully chosen to reflect the emperor's heavenly mandate. When this masterpiece appeared at Sotheby's, collectors from around the world held their breath. The final price of $7.7 million speaks volumes about its historical significance and artistic value, making it one of the most expensive antique weapons ever sold. Shah Jahan's personal dagger-sword, India, $3.3 million. When we think of priceless treasures from India's Mughal Empire, the Taj Mahal often comes to mind. But there's another masterpiece that carries the legacy of its creator, Shah Jahan, his personal dagger-sword, which recently sold for an astounding $3.3 million at Bonham's auction house. This isn't just any weapon, it's a testament to the extraordinary craftsmanship of 17th century India. Imagine holding the very blade that belonged to the emperor who gave us one of the world's most beautiful monuments. Each time you look at it, you'll notice something new. Intricate calligraphy telling stories of power and glory, precious stones catching light from every angle, making it as much a work of art as it is a weapon. The dagger-sword's journey from the hands of an emperor to becoming one of the most expensive weapons ever sold is fascinating. Think about it. This was once wielded by the same man who commissioned the Taj Mahal out of love for his wife. The same attention to detail, the same pursuit of perfection that went into building that magnificent monument was poured into crafting this personal weapon. When it finally went under the hammer at Bonham's, collectors weren't just bidding on a weapon. They were bidding on a piece of history, a symbol of one of the most magnificent empires the world has ever seen. At $3.3 million, it's a reminder that some treasures are truly priceless. 3. Admiral Lord Nelson's sword. $6.5 million. Picture this. A gleaming sword that changed the course of history, wielded by one of Britain's greatest naval heroes, Admiral Lord Nelson. This isn't just any military artifact, it's a symbol of power, courage, and the might of the British Empire at its peak. The sword belonged to Horatio Nelson, the legendary commander who led Britain's navy to numerous victories during the Napoleonic Wars. Every nick and scratch on its surface tells a story of battles fought and won on the high seas. When Nelson gripped this sword, entire fleets trembled at the sight. What makes this blade truly extraordinary is not just its illustrious owner, but how it represents Britain's absolute dominance of the seas during one of history's most turbulent periods. This was the era when Britannia truly ruled the waves, and Nelson was at the helm of it all. In a dramatic auction at Sotheby's, collectors and history enthusiasts watched in awe as the bidding soared higher and higher. When the hammer finally fell, this piece of maritime history had fetched an astounding $6.5 million. It's not just a sword. It's a tangible piece of the moment when Britain stood as the undisputed master of the seas, forever changing the course of world history. 4. Napoleon Bonaparte's gold-encrusted sword. $6.4 million. Picture this. A sword that changed hands for a staggering $6.4 million. Not just any sword, but one that belonged to one of history's most legendary military commanders, Napoleon Bonaparte himself. This isn't your average battle weapon. When Napoleon gripped this masterpiece around 1800, he wasn't just holding a sword, he was wielding a work of art. The blade tells a story of power and luxury, with stunning gold embellishments that catch the light like lightning frozen in metal. Every inch of this remarkable weapon showcases the finest craftsmanship of its time. The hilt is adorned with intricate golden designs, each detail meticulously crafted to reflect the glory of the French Empire. The scabbard itself is a testament to the extravagance of the era, decorated with symbols of Napoleon's power and military might. But what makes this sword truly priceless isn't just its gold-encrusted beauty or its perfect preservation. It's the fact that it accompanied Napoleon into actual battles, witnessing history unfold firsthand. Can you imagine the stories this blade could tell? In a dramatic finale fitting for such a historic piece, the sword was auctioned in France, where passionate collectors drove the price up to an incredible $6.4 million. Now that's what I call a golden investment in history. 5 Qianlong Imperial Saber, another piece, $5.9 million. In the glittering world of Imperial Chinese artifacts, there's another remarkable treasure that demands our attention. The second Qianlong Imperial Saber, which recently commanded an astounding price of $5.9 million at auction. You might wonder, why would someone pay such a fortune for what's essentially an ancient weapon? Well, this isn't just any ordinary saber. This masterpiece was personally owned by the Qianlong Emperor, one of China's most powerful and artistic rulers who reigned during the height of the Qing dynasty. What makes this saber truly extraordinary is its breathtaking craftsmanship. Imagine the most skilled artisans of ancient China, meticulously decorating this weapon with precious metals that would make modern jewelers envious. The blade is adorned with rare metals, creating intricate patterns that tell stories of power and prestige. But the true showstopper? The pristine jade embellishments that transform this weapon into a work of art. When this imperial saber appeared at auction, collectors from around the world held their breath. The bidding war that followed was intense, with the final hammer coming down at nearly $6 million, a testament to both its historical significance and its incredible artistic value. It's not just a weapon, it's a piece of history that connects us to one of China's most prosperous and culturally rich eras.
6. Emperor Qianlong's hunting knife, $1.2 million. Imagine holding a knife that once belonged to one of China's most powerful emperors.
This isn't just any knife, it's Emperor Qianlong's personal hunting knife, and its value, a staggering $1.2 million. While it might not be as imposing as the grand imperial sabers that dominated ancient Chinese courts, this hunting knife tells an equally fascinating story. What makes it truly special is its exquisite craftsmanship. The grip is crafted from the finest jade, a stone the Chinese have treasured for thousands of years, believing it to possess magical properties and represent imperial power. But that's not all. The knife is adorned with an array of precious stones, each one carefully selected and placed to create a piece worthy of an emperor. Every gemstone tells a story of luxury, power, and artistic mastery that defined the Qing dynasty's golden age. When this remarkable piece appeared at auction, collectors from around the world held their breath. The bidding was intense, and when the hammer finally fell, the price had soared past $1.2 million. It's not just a knife. It's a piece of history that connects us to one of China's most prosperous eras and its most celebrated emperor. Think about it. This same knife once rested in the hands of Emperor Qianlong himself, accompanying him on imperial hunts through his vast empire. Now that's something truly priceless.
Enjoying the video, correct? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Please leave your feedback, hit like, share the content.
The gem-studded sword of Tipu Sultan, India, $2.2 million. In the glittering world of historical treasures, few items capture the imagination quite like the legendary sword of Tipu Sultan. Picture this, a magnificent blade that once belonged to the feared and revered Tiger of Mysore, a ruler who struck terror into the hearts of his enemies in 18th century India. This isn't just any royal sword, it's a dazzling masterpiece of craftsmanship. Imagine holding a weapon where precious gems catch the light from every angle. Rubies as red as dawn, emeralds as green as jungle leaves, and diamonds that sparkle like stars are meticulously set into its surface, transforming this instrument of war into a work of art. But what makes this sword truly special isn't just its spectacular appearance. It's the story it tells of power, wealth, and the grandeur of Indian royalty. Tipu Sultan, known for his fierce resistance against British colonial rule, carried this blade as both a weapon and a symbol of his authority. In a dramatic twist of fate, This magnificent piece of history recently found its way to a London auction house, where collectors from around the world competed to own this piece of Indian heritage. The final price? An astounding $2.2 million, proving that even centuries later, the Tiger of Mysore's sword still commands respect and awe. 8. The Ulysses S. Grant Civil War Sword, USA, $1.6 million. Imagine holding a piece of American history worth more than most houses, the legendary sword of Ulysses S. Grant. Not just any sword, but a masterpiece presented to the Union General in 1864, right in the heart of the Civil War. This isn't your typical military weapon. Picture this: gleaming gold decorations catching the light, diamonds sparkling along the hilt, and intricate engravings telling stories of valor and victory. The craftsmen who created this sword weren't just making a weapon, they were creating a symbol of hope during one of America's darkest times. You might think such a priceless artifact would be sitting in a national museum, but here's where it gets interesting. In a dramatic auction at Heritage Auctions, collectors fought fiercely for this piece of history. When the gavel finally fell, the price tag? A staggering $1.6 million. What makes this sword truly special isn't just its monetary value or its stunning craftsmanship, it's the weight of history it carries. Every time you look at it, you can almost hear the echoes of Civil War battles and feel the presence of the man who helped preserve our Union. It's not just a sword, it's a tangible connection to one of America's most pivotal moments. The Sword of Osman, Turkey, priceless. Imagine holding a sword so powerful that it shaped an empire spanning 3 continents. This isn't just any blade, it's the legendary Sword of Osman, perhaps the most priceless sword in existence. For over 600 years, this magnificent weapon played a central role in one of history's most fascinating ceremonies. When a new sultan rose to power in the Ottoman Empire, they would be girded with this very sword in an elaborate coronation ritual. Think of it as the Ottoman equivalent of placing a crown on a king's head. But this sword is more than just ceremonial steel. It carries the weight of an empire's legacy, named after Osman II, the founder of the Ottoman dynasty. Each sultan who wielded it was reminded of their solemn duty to protect and expand their realm, just as their ancestors had done before them. Today, this irreplaceable piece of history rests in Istanbul's Topkapi Palace Museum. While many have tried to put a price tag on it, the Sword of Osman remains truly priceless, a testament to an empire that once ruled from the gates of Vienna to the deserts of Arabia. It's not just a sword, it's the physical embodiment of power, tradition, and the legacy of one of history's greatest empires. 10. The Honjo Masamune, Japan. Priceless. Picture this: a blade so legendary, its very existence has become shrouded in mystery. The Honjo Masamune, not just a sword, but perhaps the most extraordinary piece of Japanese craftsmanship ever created. Back in the 13th century, when master swordsmith Masamune was perfecting his art, he created something truly magical. His technique was so advanced, so perfect, that even modern metallurgists are baffled by his skills. The Honjo Masamune wasn't just sharp. It was said to be able to slice through falling leaves in midair, yet gentle enough not to cut a strand of silk flowing against its edge. This masterpiece became the pride of Japan's most powerful family, the Tokugawa shoguns. For centuries, it was passed down as a symbol of their authority and power. Imagine holding in your hands the same sword that shaped Japan's destiny for hundreds of years. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. After World War II, when American forces occupied Japan, the sword mysteriously vanished. Some say it was taken as a war trophy. Others believe it's hidden away in a private collection. Today, experts say its value is literally priceless. How do you put a price tag on what might be the greatest sword ever made? The Honjo Masamune remains Japan's most famous lost treasure, waiting to be rediscovered, its legacy living on in countless stories and legends.